What do millionaires do with their schedule every single day that helps them make insane amount of money? Because you can't guess this thing out. This isn't a guessing game. Like, your schedule matters. How you prioritize your day really does matter. So let me kind of tell you a schedule that a mentor showed me. So, and then by the way, like, follow, subscribe to the channel to learn more about building money and cash flow. But let me give you the schedule that I learned from a mentor to really build. So you got your day that's broken down a few major categories. So you have your time where, of course, you got to build yourself. Then you have the time where you're going to be doing IPAs, income producing activities. And then you have the time of kind of like reflection or relaxation. Now, on the build yourself time, if we broke this down into 3 blocks, you have your morning, which sets the tone, your first part of your day. Then you have your golden hours. Your golden hours are your times where you're going to be doing business, and this is like your IPAs. This is your income producing activity times. This is where you're going to make the most money possible. Your action moves. This is that day. This is that part of that day. And then you have your reflection and relaxation time, which is going to be a little bit of the smallest part of your day on the most part per week. So when it comes down to the first part of your day, the first part of your day, your foundational part of your day, that time should be spent doing a few things. Number one, you got to spend time in your spiritual life. You got to, read the Bible. You got to pray. You got to do those things to really build up your spiritual life. That's the first thing that you want to do in your foundational part of your day. To start your day, you want to start that off right. The next thing that you want to do some type of studying your craft, studying your business, learning how to master skills. Like if you're in sales, you want to spend time learning how to master skills of overcoming objections, framing, just understanding how to prospect better, market, advertise, many different things there. So you want to learn those different things. That's part of your skill set. Now, the other part of your day, you definitely got to spend it on, the next part of your foundational day, you got to spend it on working on yourself as well, like working out, being as physically fit as possible. I'm not sitting here saying you got to be an Olympian. I'm not sitting here saying that you got to be a professional athlete level fit. I'm talking about being fit enough. Spending an hour working out, spending 30 minutes on the treadmill, 30 minutes in the gym, just working out. That just does your body good. It works with your energy. I'm not a health guru, but it works with your energy. Get your energy right, does your body good, helps you be fit, helps you be stronger, especially when you got to do those hard days with less sleep. Those are the things that you definitely want to do. Now, when it comes down to so that's it. And then after that, I would then get some food, and then I would go right back to on my still in the foundational day. I would then go through my last part after I got back working out. I'll spend a little bit more time getting my day prepared as far as if I got to make calls, I got to do some prospecting. I got certain type of people that I want to talk to. I got clients. I want to just make sure I'm prepared. If, let's say I got to do some reviews, like in the financial industry, I got to do some reviews. I want to kind of get those things together and get prepared before I actually go through my day. So that's all my foundational part of my day. How much time should my foundational part of the day be? Well, I would say if you can put 3 to 4 hours into your foundational part of your day, which is the beginning of the day, that's going to do an amazing, like, you don't understand how amazing that's going to be for you to do that. Now, with that being said, I want to tell you that, let me put this in here, that I want to tell you that the foundational part of your day, like for me, I'm in sales, and I need to make sure my spirit is right. Like, my spirit is right. I need to make sure my mindset is correct. I need to make sure I'm physically ready, because, dude, when you're in sales and you go out there and do your golden hours and your IPAs and you're getting beat up, you're getting told no 7, 8 hours of the day, I'm telling you right now, you gotta be emotionally ready, emotionally beat up. You gotta be, your faith gotta be filled up, your cup gotta be full. You gotta be ready. If you're a sales leader, not only do you gotta deal with, on the sales leader side, you gotta deal with, your business, right? Your own personal business, personal clients, and managing. But then you have to manage other people. And so now, as a sales leader or a leader in your business and in your company, now not only do you got to work on the things for you and your company, but you also have to work on people. And working on people is a lot, right? You got to take on their burdens. You got to build them up. So that first 3 to 4 hours is monumental to growing. Now, golden hours. Let's go to the next part. Number two, the next part of your day is golden hours. Now, this should be the bulk of your day. Now, especially if you're in business, you're in sales, this should be the bulk of your day. You want to spend 8 hours of your day in the golden hour period. So, by the way, I know I didn't say this in the beginning. So, if we started off the day, let's say at 8 a.m., you woke up at 8 a.m., nothing wrong with it. You woke up at 8 a.m. If you woke up at 8 a.m., 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. is your foundational part of your day. From 12 p.m. to, I would say, 9 p.m., maybe even 10 p.m., that is, that 8 to 10 hours, that's golden hours, right? Golden hours, and depending on your business, but in my business, that would be my golden hours. That should be filled up with prospecting. That should be filled up with client calls. That should be filled up with client appointments. That should be filled up with making content. That should be filled up with marketing, advertising. That should be filled up with, of course, if you're a team leader, doing team management or closing deals for teams, doing the closing calls. There should be a little bit of training in there, but I want to talk to more of the person that's kind of just like getting started. So that should be you going out there and like doing appointments with your team, or doing closing business. That should be DMs, right? You should be DMing people. When I say DMing on social media, texting people, sending voice texts, that should be a combination of what else? We said content, making content, making phone calls, prospecting, client calls. Yeah, I mean, that should be that. And if you're in business like my business, you're in sales. Out of that 8 to 10 hours, you definitely want about 6 hours of that to be client calls. But if it's not client appointments, client calls, follow-ups, if it's not that, and you got to generate business, you're just starting out, and you're like, dude, I'm not making $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month. Then you do got to spend probably a bulk of that with just doing finding and generating business, because in all reality, you can't make phone calls to people that you don't have numbers to. So now you got to spend a lot of time generating business, by actually making phone calls to people. I mean, going out prospecting and making social media. Now, let's say, just to give you the perspective of kind of that time block. So in my business, you got some times that's like prime prospecting times, right? Like if I'm going to go out there and I'm going to go meet people, I'm going to go network, I'm going to do something like that. I like, for me personally, I like 11 to 1 o'clock. For most people that live in a city where, most people have 9 to 5, 11 to 1 o'clock. But then after 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, when people, like, if they're in school time, people get out of school from 4 o'clock to really 9 o'clock. It's amazing times to go out there and prospect and go meet people and go, shake hands, kiss babies, right? Do that whole thing there. So I would tell you that if you're trying to just generate, maybe 10, 20 contacts a day, so that you can start, making $10,000, $20,000 a month. Well, then you're probably going to spend a bulk of your time, 5 hours of your time should be in just purely generating business. Um, the Tesla's going crazy. You seen that? Tesla's going crazy. So it should be spending probably a lot of time doing that. Now, the next thing I would tell you, of course, once you have like a pipeline, let's say of 1,000 to 2,000 people, that you have in your pipeline that you can call them on, follow up, referrals, different things like that. You got to definitely spend a lot of time making phone calls so you can generate appointments. Making phone calls is so underrated. Everybody wants to text. Everybody wants to just send a calendar, but nobody wants to get on the phone. Still, like it's so wild that people don't want to. It's a contact sport. Business is a contact sport. People don't want to get on the phone. They don't want to make the phone call and say, "Hey, how you doing? This is who I am. This is what I do. This is my business. This is my service. I would love to be able to schedule an appointment with you, show you more about what I do, this, that, and the other." People still don't want to do that. It's insane. So that's an edge for a lot of people there. Now, that's what I would tell you that you want to definitely do when it comes down to your time. Just your golden hours are sacred. Don't spend your golden hours. If you're going to go to lunch with somebody, it needs to be with somebody that's a potential client, or let's say you got to bring on people and onboard people, different things like that. But I'm not spending time during my golden hours unless it's making money, unless I'm doing IPAs, income producing activity. I went down the line of that, making social media, making content, making marketing, making advertising, making phone calls, texting, voice text, going out there and prospecting, meeting, shaking 35 hands, 45 hands, 50 hands, trying to get 10, 25 numbers, knocking doors, do whatever you got to do to be able to build up that nice database so you can just mainly ring that phone and dial, and then, of course, on social media. Okay, the last part. Now, this part of the day that everybody likes, but I think people spend way too much time. When you're trying to build your business, when you're trying to make, 6 figures in income, net income, you can't spend, like, your relaxed time is very limited. Like your recovery is very limited. Maybe 2 hours is what you should spend. So let's say that you get done with your golden hours at 10 o'clock. 10 to 12 is reflection and relaxation. Depending on how big your business is and sales and how much you've done, you may need another hour of reflection, right? Reflection is more so like going back through the day, seeing what everything you did, do some, paperwork, whatever you got to do. That's kind of like the reflection time, kind of just viewing, seeing what you could have improved on and different things like that. And then you're relaxing, maybe an hour. You want to relax with something soothing or do some education. That's how I like to relax. I like to relax by watching some business education and different things like that. But maybe that's what you want to do. This is what I will tell you, that you don't want to spend too much time doing that when you're first starting off, because in all reality, your goal should be to to work crazy hard for enough time to sustain it, so that way you can, I mean, my thing is, if you're not doing 6 days a week, you're not trying. That's where I'm at. You're not doing 6 days a week to get off the ground in your own business or in a sales job. You're not really trying, especially when you're just starting. So you want to definitely do that. You know what I mean? You want to do that, and you're going to pick your time to relax. Relaxation time is once you made the money. That's just the reality. Once you've made some money, that's when you should relax. Once you have put enough time into your business that you can afford to, go on the vacation you want to, drive the car, then that's your relaxation time. Other than that, I mean, the killers are going to do 7 days a week. I can't tell you how many years, even being married, even with, having kids, I can't tell you how many years I spent doing 7 days a week. Till this day, I will do 7 days a week if need be. Now, I do prioritize my daughter a lot more now because she's older, and I want that time, and my wife, I want that time. But, I mean, I still would do a 7-day easily, back-to-back weeks easily when I'm going for a goal, and I just make up for spending the time on the back end with something amazing. Like, well, hey, here's our goal. I'm going to work hard so we can do this, sweethearts. And my wife is the exact same way. So either way, I wanted to break down that to you. That's a schedule that you can adopt for yourself. You have your foundational time, you have your golden hours, then you have your reflection and relaxation time. That's a schedule that you can break down for you. That's going to really help you build off the top, build some business, make some money. That's the way I kind of run what I did to start making six figures and build a multi-million-dollar business. Um, that's kind of what I started off doing, to get out the rat race. And I'm so grateful to have a mentor even teach me about that millionaire mindset of the schedule. And so that's what I'm teaching you. So either way, if you like content like this, you want to learn more about making money, cash flow, how to build wealth, different things like that, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And of course, I'm going to put out more heat. We got a lot more coming. Check out the lives, check out the shorts. There's so much more that we got coming to the channel. So, the car wobbling. But hey, man, we'll see you, man. Joe Cashflow out.